Yes.
They also, I don't know where to fit this into the review, but I thought it was worth noting this this interesting promotion they're doing with the White Rabbit. So they've been playing White Rabbit at the live events.
An a cappella version of Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit. Yes.
So they played this at SmackDown during one of the commercial breaks, and then they played it again over the weekend at a house show. And I think this is a really cool deal where you're getting like fan videos like going up of the song, and then they went
not even that, like even like I don't know, like this must be somebody in there actually leaking it, but it's like the test like when they play it during the test in the empty arenas.
Yeah.
Like even footage of that is coming out. And I in my mind, I'm thinking it might all be intentional. Please go on. Yeah. Let's talk about it now. Let's talk about it now.
So tonight there was this QR code that appeared on the screen when Austin Theory was in the back. So for people,
and then again in the crowd.
In the crowd
at 9:23, a man walked by with.
Oh, okay, that part
code.
I missed. Okay, so if you scan the QR code, it took you to this video where it's a game of Hangman. And it asks who killed the world, and you've got the White Rabbit guessing letters that leads to the answer you did, and then the flashing 9:23 that would presumably lead people to Friday, September 23rd.
Yeah. In addition to 9:23, like the time today. So yeah, when you go to the video there, it's I think ever since the White Rabbit song started playing, internet sleuths were already like hard at work, and many people deducing one of two answers. The first of which I think, being Killer Cross, because he used to have this gimmick in Lucha Underground as the White Rabbit. But the second being Bray Wyatt, because anytime spooky shit happens in the WWE, people think it might be Bray Wyatt. This time though, I think there is actual, credibility to those guesses.
I think it's really clever to make like Karrion Kross just like misdirection. Like it doesn't make any sense for this to be some Karrion Kross deal, but it's very smart to lead people in that direction to try and get them off the scent.
I think besides that reasoning attached to Bray Wyatt, I think the fact that it's this sort of riddle type of thing, and not the wrestler I mean, but this sort of like lead you down a rabbit hole, all pun intended.
Are you writing these?
Type of thing that feels very much of a Bray Wyatt style. So beyond that, I mean, we could get really deep with some of this stuff, as the internet already has. A user on Reddit actually like dug through one of Bray's old tweets, I think from July or something like that, talking about Self, Arkansas, which is like a sort of like I don't know, some sort of weird town, and this place called the Devil's Hole. Anyway, somebody Googled that. I want to give this person credit because this is the incredible amount of like hard research or just crazy dumb luck. But if you Google this, one of the results that comes up is a message board thread from 2005. When you scroll up to the top, the moderator of the message board is somebody by the name of White Rabbit.
Jesus Christ.
That is fucking 6D backgammon, okay?
Dude,
like that's
if these
more than
pro wrestling companies ever take for granted the passion of their fan base that get to the bottom of these things, I mean,
I think we're starting to see that, John, and I think that you've started to see that with this new regime, where whether it be, like the Dexter Lumis stuff, I think is kind of like a very surface level of what this is. Like having Dexter Lumis show up and then not really mentioning him, that's sort of like a basic version of what this is. But like you can see like Hunter's been, I think, at least attempting and playing with the internet, or at least internet sort of like, I don't know, viral marketing. And Bray Wyatt, to me, certainly would be somebody to take that even to a further level, and maybe he already has.
So Self, Arkansas is an unincorporated community in Boone County, Arkansas. It is the location of Cottonwood School number 45, which is located at Cottonwood and Dubuque Roads and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. So, could this be the return of Eli Cottonwood?
Listen, I mean, we're bringing back NXT originals. That would be one that would be digging way back,
His mustache.
Yeah, Eli Cottonwood, certainly. That would be quite the swerve. I think so. Yeah, that person on Reddit, his name is Gentleman's Bastard. So all credit to him. And then, there are several other clues that would hint towards Bray, including this one credit. I credit to John Cena, who said that "Come with me" was one of the lines that was listed. It's apparently one of Bray's final words in his final FCW promo.
Oh,
so
maybe Puff Daddy's coming
with Jimmy Page or without.
Exactly.
Puff Daddy managed by Jimmy Page as a new wrestler.
Yes.
Like following in Action Bronson's footsteps.
With Eli Cottonwood. I think we've pieced it all together. Overall, though, like regardless of like getting into the weeds of all this, I love this type of thing. And
me too.
I like doing like, these things that kind of send your audience, as small a number as maybe that are going to this length,
it's
on
not
this little
that
scavenger
small,
hunt.
John, it's not that small. Like
that I'm saying are doing this detective work to this level, dude.
Oh, okay.
That are going into this.
Is what I mean. Like
exactly. That's it. It's like all you need to do is cover like a percentage of your audience, and it will spread among the audience that is most going to appreciate this when it comes. And it just builds anticipation. That's essentially what you're doing as a promoter. You're building anticipation and finding the most state-of-the-art ways to do that.
What do most of us who are like MCU fans do after every single episode of one of these Disney Plus shows? We go on the internet and we watch endless amounts of stupid Easter egg videos where people fucking like they microscopically enlarge the most stupid, meaningless detail, and half the time they're actually right. They actually find stuff.
Yeah, but some of the times they're plenty off the mark where people are just, he was wearing the color red, so anyone that knows what the color red is obviously a callback to the loss of his father, who bled blood, and it means the father's alive. Like
that is definitely the case.
There's some crazies out there that just
but half the time, and maybe even a quarter of the time, they're actually right. And I think for years we've been begging for professional wrestling to treat its audience with that same level of intelligence, or at least, I don't know, playfulness. It engrosses you in the material. It creates so much, I think, positive buzz online, and it just like it keeps you guessing, which is what professional wrestling should be doing, and guessing in a good way. Leading
QR code. What nerd is putting a code on his phone?
What does QR stand for?
So we start off the show with Bobby Lashley.
Is Vince at home pointing his phone onto the screen, trying to zoom in on what's in the background? Does somebody have to explain to Vince what a QR code is? Is he watching Raw anymore?
Has he logged into Peacock yet? Has he figured out Peacock? That would be.
He probably can't remember his password. He probably has to call Stephanie for his password.
Would he have had a password to begin with? Like, why would you even have a Peacock account if you're Vince McMahon? You're not coming home to watch your show.
Well, don't you want to see how your product that you're paying for that's making you money is serving? Like, I have a Patreon account to see how our Patreon is acting.
I mean, I just don't imagine he would be one that would, like, you're there. You're watching it. You've probably got it set up at the office or something. I don't know if he's coming home and would have his own account registered and all. He
might want to dig back into WCW Starrcade 1995 once in a while to see WCW versus New Japan Pro Wrestling, Japan versus the world.
Yes, and then get Ric Flair's comments on what he thought about that main event. All that to come on Rewind Away.
So let's just say this is Bray Wyatt. I mean, I think this is a good sign, okay? Because we've seen two versions of Bray Wyatt throughout his time into the WWE. We saw, I think, the ultra cool, like, brilliant idea. To me, like, Firefly Funhouse against John Cena remains one of my favorite things that WWE has ever done, because it operates on a similar type of level. But then there's also the House of Horrors Bray Wyatt, which what happened there, I don't know. The Alexa Bliss bleeding from the face Bray Wyatt, which, I mean, we still don't have much of an answer for. Oozing oil. I mean, like, there's just like.
But then it really hit its peak when him and Braun had their underwater adventure, and they recreated Waterworld. Remember that?
What?
They were in the swamp or something.
Oh yeah. Fuck. Like, there was so much good stuff, but then there's way more bad stuff. So is this going to be like, what is Bray Wyatt going to be like under a different regime? what was always the issue there? What, like, you can always tell there was maybe some like beginnings of a great idea, but just like the follow through would typically just be completely awful. Is this going to be
in the hands of like creative ideas that like they are in sync with one another. I don't think that Bray Wyatt had that on the main roster, and that's despite some wins. Like, you look at that first time he came out and like that SummerSlam match he did here in Toronto, and it got over so big with the entrance. Great win. It was fantastic. But then you had, you know, fast forward just 2 months and he's doing the Hell in a Cell thing with Seth Rollins. That was just a debacle, as they're just one of the most embarrassing endings to a pay-per-view I can recall in WWE. So, I mean, it was highs and lows, and I think it's got to be a collaborative process because no performer is coming in with carte blanche as much as I'm sure Bray Wyatt would want something like that. Like, you have to be able to collaborate with someone that understands like the character and how it works in this world that we've moved away from a lot of these characters as well. Like, there is a way to do them, but you have to be able to weave them into this same world that possesses a Seth Rollins and possesses a Bobby Lashley, so that it's not this, you know, tune-out factor that, you know, some of Bray's programs became. Mm-hmm.